thank you, Senator Whitehouse, and consider this New England neighbor another saltwater senator who cares a great deal about marine debris, as do members of both parties, as you've heard. And I want to thank Chairman Wyden and Ranking Member Crapo for holding what is truly an important hearing today. And thank you, Ms. Tai, for not only appearing here, but for your willingness to serve our country during this difficult time. And thank you to your family as well. I want to follow up on a discussion that I know you've already had with some of the other committee members. I was encouraged by the bipartisan discussion that I joined at the White House yesterday on securing and strengthening U.S. supply chains. We have to take on the Chinese government and reinvest in American manufacturing in order to protect our national security, our public health, and our economic independence. The President's executive order yesterday is a necessary first step to rebuilding our domestic supply chains for strategically critical technology and the supplies we need to address COVID-19, for example. I know others asked you some questions about this, so could you, following up on those previous questions, expand on the importance of building resilience in securing domestic supply chains? And can you give the committee a sense of the USTR's role in implementing the President's review of strategically critical U.S. industries?
Senator Hassan, I'd be pleased to. I think that I may have mentioned earlier, but the COVID-19 pandemic in particular provided those of us working on trade policy with a lot of food for thought about the supply chain disruptions and how we could find ourselves in such a vulnerable position scrambling for goods that the rest of the world needed all at the same time. I think that's led to some very reflective and positive bipartisan conversations around not just the supply chain strategy itself, but also its implications for how we adjust the assumptions that we build into our trade policies and what we try to accomplish with our trade policies. On your second question of USTR's role in the administration's effort that was rolled out yesterday, if confirmed, I really look forward to bringing USTR and all of its talents and insights to bear on the interagency process and in the conversation with Congress to craft the best and most strategic policies that we can to put the U.S. on the strongest footing we can.
Thank you. Now I want to talk about another issue. Ms. Tai, exports of manufactured products support 18,000 jobs in my state. New Hampshire's largest manufacturing export category is computer and electronics products, which make up about 1/4 of our exports, actually a little bit over 1/4 of our exports. How will you work at USTR to support U.S. manufacturing jobs and strengthen U.S. exports in the computer and electronics industry?
Well, Senator Hassan, if confirmed and at USTR, I would be delighted to work with you and your state and your stakeholders on supporting their productivity and their access to export markets.
Well, thank you. It's something I'd look forward to working on with you as well. I spoke with President Biden about this issue yesterday when we were at the White House, and it includes the critical need to invest in domestic production of semiconductors, which I know other people have talked to you about. We don't want to cede that to China either, and I look forward to working with you on that. One other issue, if I could, the bipartisan U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement cut red tape for small exporters by expanding electronic filing of customs forms and making more exports into Mexico and Canada tariff-free. The small business chapter of the USMCA also created a committee dedicated to giving a voice to small businesses and shaping trade policy. Will you work at USTR to ensure that small businesses are represented on this committee and to ensure that the views of the committee are reflected in our efforts to support innovative U.S. businesses who are competing in the global economy?
Yes.
Thank you very much. I yield the rest of my time. Thank you, Mr. Chair.